An immigration crisis is happening in our southern border. And then, so how did it happen? And how is the Biden administration dealing with it? And what's the response from everyone? And where is this leading to? This is our topmost topic today. And also the $15 salary was, was ditched from the relief bill. But there's really things that we need to explore inside that initiative. And another one is, China got 70 nations to co-sign a letter and to support its action upon Hong Kong, the suppression. 70 countries in this world side with the CCP to suppress Hong Kong. Well, really? Is it true? If it's not true, what could be the truth? That's the topic today. All right, Alan, I'm sorry. This is Wei. Okay, Wei Fang and...
I'm Kathy Zhang from San Francisco.
From San Francisco, California. Yeah, you're a Chinese-American journalist. All right, so let's move into our first topic, which is what is happening in the southern border. You may have read about that, and let me just give you some, most recent data. Okay, so what happened now is the U.S. border agents detained nearly 100,000 migrants at the border in February. Okay, and then how many of them in January? 78,000. So basically, after Biden administration moved in, they reversed Trump's border wall policy completely. Just even border wall near completion, they don't plug that hole. Everything just stopped, and then they start to reverse this policy. This is one thing. The second, there has been talk about amnesty to all the illegal immigrant in the U.S. So that word just instantly attract many people from Central America to move towards the border of the Mexican-U.S. border, wishing to enter America. So 78,000 in January, and 100,000 in February. And as of the day before, Wednesday, the most recent number is what? 4,500 migrant was arrested 2 days ago. If you time that by 30 days, you're talking about 130,000 people, so it's still increasing.
Right?
It's still increasing. And it's not really just conservatives are not happy with this. And the representative Henry Suller, he's the 28th district of Texas. He's a Democrat, okay? And his district is at the southwest border of Texas. And he's saying that the Biden administration have to look into the voice from the local community. This is too much to handle. Cannot handle that. In Texas, 40,000 people was arrested in just 1 week. Okay,
yeah.
Illegal immigrant in 1 week. So two Democratic representatives cannot hold it. They said they come in, we don't have tests, we don't quarantine them. They come in and we just have no way to control that. It's threatening. It just exhausts our local resource and threatening the safety of people at this COVID time. So, all right. So what does the Biden administration said? Okay, the DHS had said something, and we want to share with you and see how you think about that. Kathy?
Yeah, that's the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. He said at a press conference on Monday, March 1st, he just really basically is saying that they are completely have a different approach to those illegal immigrants than the Trump administration. So let's watch. I think that's...
And we are not expelling young children. We are not apprehending a 9-year-old child who's come alone, who's traversed Mexico, whose loving parents had sent that child alone. We're not expelling that 9-year-old child to Mexico when that child's country of origin was Guatemala, Honduras, or El Salvador. We are actually bringing that child into a border patrol station as a stepping point to get that child in the hands of HHS that has the capacity and the unique talents to care for the child.
Okay. And I just before Kathy went on with her, further reporting, I just cannot help inserting my comment. Okay, what a loving American, what a loving DHS secretary, right? 10,000 parents who heard in the Central America who hear his word will send their 9-year-old children to the U.S. on hearing that. That's the message he's sending. Okay, is that a solution? Does that loving word is the solution to this country? Let's hear the rest of the reporting, and then you can decide.
Yeah, well, I think during the same press conference, the secretary also saying, we are not asking them to come now, but later, because then we can really put together a very comprehensive plan, right? But I think there's a couple of things to take notice. He's emphasizing, we are not just refusing a 9-year-old. So what does that mean is that they are just basically saying, those solo children are really at a young age. However, just according to HHS, the health service, Human and Health Service Department, according to their data, the large majority of those solo children arriving at the border are at 15 to 17-year-old. Okay, hear that. So in February, 8,000 solo children taken into custody. Among them, 6,000 were between 16 to 17 years old, which means 75% of them. So, the narrative from the Biden administration and all those mainstream media are just contradictory to their own HHS report. And also on January 31st, only 13% of the 5,000 some minor immigrants in their custody are younger than 12 years old, and 71% of them are male. So actually there are researchers saying that most of those young illegal immigrants, they come here actually for jobs. And there is a Los Angeles Times story about on January 31st, there are some teenagers, 13 teenagers from Mexico, from the borders. They were killed by the cartels at the border, and among them there was a 15-year-old young guy, and his mother. He was from Guatemala, and his mother said, his son just wanted to come to the United States in order to find a job so that he can lift up his siblings' life, lifting them out of poverty. So really the narrative from the Biden administration and the mainstream media are very different from the facts. And another story, they are just, we have heard about the car crash, right, at California and the Mexican border, where the smugglers just smuggle those illegal immigrants, including children. And also on Monday night, March 1st, a 23-year-old father and his 2-year-old son entered the Salinity Canal. And actually they were just quickly swept away by the current, the very rapid current. Fortunately, they were rescued by the Arizona border agents. But these are just only the few stories that got reported about this borders crisis.
Yeah, and I just want to share with you, from a Chinese. I was born in China, right? And I want to just share with you our perspective on we were there, right? Okay, let me tell you this. Because of the name, because of the accomplishment of the United States, virtually every single Chinese wants to go to U.S., every single person. But we know there's law, there's custom. They cannot just do that. So they figure out how to do that. One way is called the International Student Visa, which is F1. To get F1, you have got to be admitted by a graduate school, in the United States, like in my case, right? And then for that, you have to take a TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language, and then take a GRE and the graduate record examination. So I spent 3 years studying my English. I literally memorized 75% of a dictionary, a Chinese English dictionary. That's how diligent I was. I tried very, very hard to meet the bar raise my level so that I got a chance to earn that F1 visa. As an end result, my English greatly improved, and I was able to come here and pursue my postgraduate study. And then, now today I'm a Chinese American. That's the simple common sense. Okay, if they allow 1.3 billion people of Chinese just move to the U.S., you should order they welcome. For sure, it's a great country. I want to be there, and so that will just overrun the country, overrun America, right? This is just simple common sense. It will overrun the America. So the current policy is just so ridiculous. When you say you are very fuzzy, you have gray areas, we're going to take care of that 9-year-old. What about another 10,000 to 9-year-old? They're going to keep coming, and then through those illegal ways, they will be endangered. They will run into problem. When they survive all those dangers, they come to this country, then they will overrun America. Yeah, everybody hurt.
Yeah, they will take over the jobs from Americans. And, besides we just shared with you how people like him come to this great country in a very legal way. But also there are a portion of the Chinese people who actually, they escape the regime because of the political persecution, right? But some of them indeed came in that way. And actually, in the earlier days, they actually just swim to Hong Kong, right? And then as a refugee, they can come to the United States. Even that way, they have to go through the UN refugee office and to get arranged. However, there's in this case right now, there is a international organization for migration study. In 2017, it shows that 91% of Guatemalan migration to the United States is economic reasons. Less than 1% are because of concerns about crime. So that narrative, that study, the results is really different from the narratives we heard right now, right, from the administration. Mm-hmm. So, right now, especially in also. Just in the matter of a few weeks, I think at the border of Mexico and the U.S. is changed very rapidly. I actually have a journalist friend. His name is Ben Bengworm. He is right now at the border, and he actually went to the other side, went to Tijuana. So I wanted to just share a little bit of his, because he sent me messages in tweets. So I wanted to acknowledge Ben Berquam. So if our DJ can show that's Ben. I actually, a couple of years ago, I went to the border with him. So that type of border wall, border fence, it's very familiar to me. So Ben right now is with Real America's Voice. And while he was reporting in Mexico, he was actually with another independent journalist in Mexico. His name is called Oscar L. Blue. So we'll hear from Oscar about how he feels about this border issue. So I just want to show you a little bit. First of all, that's a C2. Let's watch.
Joe Biden said that he was going to let into the United States by quantities of 300. People started getting here, camping out, and more than 1,500 people right now, they're stationed right here. You get to see more than 200 children. You got 4 potential families that they're infected with COVID.
Okay, so here they were at Tijuana. You can see it became a tent city, like he said. Over 1,500 people gathered there, and he said actually initially it's only 2 weeks ago it's only 2 to 3 tents. And now you can see how many tents are there. And but those people actually, according to Oscar, they are very unhappy with Biden's administration because, over there's no procedure. They had to camp out there. And let's watch C4.
You actually get to think as a Mexican citizen why United States citizens and young kids in the United States want socialism and communism. They don't even know, and they don't even realize, and they don't even appreciate what they have right now. That is ultimately one of the things that have been taken over from us since we were born, that is freedom. The United States citizens have that, and they don't value that. And until they start suffering from that, they will actually one day be standing on this side and they will be looking at another country and be looking, that is beautiful over there. I want that. And guess what? You had it. You're going to think about that and you're going to say, I had it and I don't have it anymore. So appreciate this moment and appreciate your land, appreciate your freedom, appreciate your flag, appreciate your constitution, appreciate that you have a country that is providing this beautiful life for you. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, so that's a young man from Mexico, how he feels about, the young people in this country, in the United States, why he couldn't comprehend why they would like to have a socialism in the United States.
Yeah, let me relate to you that how President Trump see, how to resolve this issue. Actually, at the CPAC during his speech, he said this. He said, I made a mistake. I made a mistake, right? For those of you who saw his speech, he said, I should have said, I don't want a war. I don't want a border war. Then they will build the wall. Because what I do, they will just object to it. So I should not have said I want that war. That's my mistake. Anyway, so whatever President Trump did, and now that the current administration seems to want to take a reverse attitude, and they really land themselves into, get themselves mired into this trouble. All right, so Trump issued the statement today saying that when I left office, we have achieved the most secure border in our country's history. Under Biden, it will soon be worse, more dangerous, and more out of control than ever before. And and the Republicans, they are also very furious. They said the current administration purposefully create a rush on the border by rolling back Trump's policy and sending public message to migrant teenagers that the border is open to unaccompanied minors. And some left doesn't like him either, because of the rush. The Biden administration have to open up more detention camps. That was used by Trump administration back then. They're very mad. They said, how can you do that? How can you open up those, reuse those detention camps? You should never use them. But what can they do? Biden administration have this loads of people in their hand. So, and then people coming in, they're not tested, they're not quarantined, they're Democratic representative at the district in Texas and Arizona. They're nervous, they object, they are not happy, and so forth and so on. Really just man-made crisis. Should not be happening at all. Anyway, okay, we'll pay attention to this and bring in a new report, and let's see how Biden administration would resolve this crisis.
Yeah, actually, the Biden administration saying he's sending like some senior officers to the border during the weekend, but actually, a lot of the details are secret. We don't know, when they will be there and all those details.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. And Senate Democrats. I'm sorry. So today, Bernie Sanders he proposed to re-put that minimum wage raise to $15 into the COVID relief bill. But he was defeated by a vote in the Senate today, 58 to 42. Basically, 8 Democrats side with Republican senators to defeat that
7 Democrats plus 1 independent.
And he caucused with the Democrat. Let's just call him Democrat. I think that's just fine. And anyway, so what happened is, okay, let me just read to you the feedback response. Okay, Sanders was furious. He was really mad. He said, it is unacceptable to me that half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, he said we need an economy that works for all of us. To do that, we must increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour and give 32 million Americans a raise. Okay, sounds, sounds plausible. And then the Georgia Senator, Jon Ossoff, and he just got elected a couple months ago, okay, in that very, very, tense Georgia runoff, right? You remember that? He said, I will keep fighting for Americans who are forced into financial precarity, debt, stress, ill health, overwork, and the low wages. Okay, and another Democratic Washington State representative, Jayapal, he said, it's long overdue that it would give 32 million workers a raise and lift 1 million people out of poverty. All right, this is actually pretty classic, typical response from the leftist. But I just want to give some comment. I just want each of us to think about it. Okay, how can government revise the law and lift $7.25 current federal minimum wage to $15, and then you lift 1 million people out of poverty? The government produce nothing, they manufacture nothing, they invent nothing. Okay, they don't create wealth. By just using the pen and just cross this 7.25 and make that $15, can they lift 1 million people out of the poverty? The Congress Budget Office already issued that, right? They're gonna make about 700,000 people earn more. Then in the meantime, they're gonna eliminate 1.5 million jobs. When you eliminate 1.5 million jobs, are they in poverty or are they not in poverty? Right? It's just a simple truth. The simple truth.
They probably don't even count how many small businesses are gonna go out of business, right?
Right. So this kind of thing, when Bernie Sanders was just furious, he sounds very righteous. Okay, he said, how could you do that? We don't want to care about the people. And so back to the one point that I talked to you guys back then. What is the right minimum wage? What is the correct minimum wage? Okay, 7.25, $15, $10.
Or 24, like AOC proposed.
And AOC said, he said $15 is compromise. It shall be $24 an hour. That's the right one. So what is the right amount? If we go back to the founding fathers, as they devised the Constitution, which first time utilized Adam Smith economic theory, which is basically build the economy based upon the economic liberty, okay? And he says, he will tell you the correct minimum wage does not exist. There shall not be any minimum wage. Reason? The reason. It's just like, when somebody hires someone, it's just like when you buy this cup. How much you are willing to pay for it? What's the right price for this cup? The seller for sure know how much he is willing to sell it for. The buyer also know how much he want to buy it for. Those two people are the best people to decide on that price, okay? So just leave this to them. This is called economic liberty. Same thing, when somebody hires someone and he for sure know based upon his skill, his condition, and he know how much he's willing to pay for it. And that person is know how much he's willing to sell his 1 hour time. And that's just simple how this country was founded upon, okay? So this so-called $15 an hour will take all the operating room from $0 to $15 from any business, right? Any business, especially small business. When that small business owner want to help a homeless on the street, pay him, $2 to start, as he has no skill. He simply has no skill. But this business owner want to help him, right? So he's gonna offer $2 and pull him out of poverty a little bit, and then $5, then $10, and $15. As this guy learn more and more, he's gonna pay him $24 and $30. That's how he helped these people really earn his way out of the poverty. Okay, but with this new law, this business owner lose those rooms. And another matter is, without, with such a high price, $15 an hour for any piece of work, he may not be viable. His business will close,
right.
Could fail. When that small business fail, of course, will not grow to be a medium-sized one, will not become a big one because it's already died. So all this nonsense is just is something that we already forgot. And our elected senators and the congressmen can in the hall of the Congress and shouting that it shall be $15, shall be $24. If it works that easy, you can just declare something and it will be a better life. Why don't you declare $100 an hour? Could that work? It doesn't work at all. The founding father 250 years ago already said that doesn't work. And we are just treating this joke as a formal policy.
Yeah, it really reminds me of the joke that way you told last time in the socialist country, communist country, the three people planting the trees, right? So this type of minimum wage not only just take away the incentives from the people, right? Because wherever you start, you can have this $15 minute. Also take away the motivations, incentive for the businesses, small businesses. So, yeah. So
Yeah, government can do very, very few things they're good at. Okay, maintaining orders and the foreign relationship and a fair a marketing order. They don't know anything more than that. They are not good at this. They should not decide the price of anything, be it a chocolate bar or the minimum wage. They should not. But already past that phase. Okay, the last one, we're moving into Hong Kong. So, okay, this is the one topic today. And what happens is this, okay, Friday. Oh, let me see. Let's play that video. How about that?
Oh, okay.
In Hong Kong, okay, 47 activists, they were arrested and they were put on a trial. So after the trial, 15 of them they can release them waiting for another trial. But no, they put them in jail. Okay, the mother of one of the young boy who was on trial, this happened outside the courthouse of Hong Kong. Let's take a look. 我们放一下香港那个吗？好吗 ，Tony？
that's the mom.
Yeah, she just couldn't control herself. So they could let him go. 15 of them, they could be let go. I have to appeal. Now, none can be released. The law is dead. She just virtually collapsed. Yeah, her heart is broken. Okay, all right. Let's just stop here.
Yeah, and basically these 47 people, well, whatever the only crime that they have is they try to participate in the election.
Yeah.
They try to participate in the
crime.
election.
That's crime.
Yeah.
That's what Hong Kong has become. Okay, so what happened today? Okay, this video is circulating on the social media a lot these past 2 or 3 days. So today something happened here. Okay, Belarus, Belarus, the European, former Soviet Union nation, Belarus wrote a letter to UN Human Rights Council today, and to defend CCP's action in Hong Kong. The letter said it's signed by 70 other UN member nations. Okay, and Belarus is not is not even a member of the Human Rights Council. But China is, and also like Cuba, Venezuela, all those human rights violators, they are the members, including Russia. But the letter did not indicate which 70 people, okay?
In countries.
In countries, yes. And then the letter said it's crystal, after the letter, the letter says this. It said nobody shall, let me see, gosh, I need to have that in front of me. And it is mentioned about, the letter read this way: we support China's implementation of one country, two systems in the Hong Kong special administrative region. And since the law of the People's Republic of China safeguarding national security in the Hong Kong special administration region come into force, Hong Kong got rid of turbulence and gradually restored stability, and so forth and so on. All those language literally English translation of the official language in China. So we know that somebody in Beijing wrote it up and find a Belarus diplomat to sign it and send it to the UN Council, Human Rights Council. And why they did not have this, 70, did not point out who are those 70 nations, if you ask me, I don't know the truth. Okay, I'm stating my guess based on my knowledge in that regime in the CCP. Okay, they just do the math. They figure they probably can buy out 70 nations, or coerce them, or buy and coerce some of them. They feel they could have 70 names. So they wrote the letter and then translate that, ask the Belarus diplomat to sign, and then send it on. After that, what happened is this, okay? So after that, the propaganda apparatus of the CCP then start to cite that letter. They make a big deal of that today. They said this shows it's crystal clear proof that CCP's handling of Hong Kong is politically healthy for the city. Okay, in Chinese we call 出口转内销. You just create something and have it said by the foreigners, and then you import that back and convince these people, see, they all agree with us. So this is what happened. So I saw a comment saying that those 70 countries, they are dictators. A good number of them are, but not all of them. This is so-called CCP's friend.
Yeah, but yeah, they basically they sell off their souls to the CCP.
Yeah. So this is a very usual tactics. I just want you to know. Let me give you two examples. One has to do with China. One has to do with the U.S. So after the June 4th student massacre, okay, the tank rolled onto the street and killed so many students. And I remember on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th day, about 4 to 5 days, in the Chinese state-run media, every day they're gonna say certain Shandong province declared that they support the central government's decision. The next day it's like a Chongqing city support the central government's decision. The next day is Guangdong province support this. So every day they do this kind of thing. That create a atmosphere, right? Atmosphere, the whole society approve of the killing in Beijing. So that is very effective. This is communist, very, very, typical classic action. They don't have this real thing. They don't have their mothers. Those are very vivid, very genuine. But to counter this kind of video, they created the letter like that. So guys, do remember that after November 3rd, on that Saturday, I think it's about 7th or 8th, suddenly, quite a few foreign nations sending letter to Biden, saying that congratulate him within 2 days. I think I remember more than 10 countries, or maybe even 20. To me as a Chinese, who live in China, who live through communism, I know how that happened. Okay, it's all the work from behind. Okay, they were contacted by certain people, either threaten or buy them out. You need to send this letter, and we need that in those 2 days to create atmosphere of this is an internationally approved election. All right, that's the idea. I thought this is not a skill of Americans. This is the pattern of the CCP, the communist. I didn't know that it was learned so fast.
Yeah, basically it's like a cycle of lies, right? They create this 70 countries, then they create a news report, then use the news report to cheat on the Chinese people, convincing them, see, we are doing it right, we got the international support. And on the other hand, I just thought about, that's why President Trump actually just decided to withdraw from the UN Human Rights Council, because this Human Rights Council already lost its purpose. I actually interviewed the head of the Human Rights Council of UN years ago when she came to Stanford University. And at that time, I asked her, how do you think about the Chinese government's human rights abuse, especially relates to the 1989 student movement? And you know what she said? She said, oh, we are certainly working with them, meaning the Chinese Communist government, on this, and we have agreed that we do not talk about this publicly, but will talk about it privately. So even back then, just at least 2 decades ago, the UN Human Rights Council already been compromised. So so it's just for me, it's really expectable, and that's why President Trump really don't want it to be part of it.
Okay, now it's over 30 minutes. So to end it, this is the joke of today.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
the
hear
joke has to do with the Hong Kong and the Belarus situation. Okay, back then in the Soviet Union, okay, Stalin, he just shoot a lot of propaganda movie, right? And saying that how great Stalin is and how great his policy is and so on and so forth. And then they were playing in the theater, okay? So Stalin one day was thinking about, so I want to know how people react to that, because everybody was ordered to watch it, right? So he thought maybe they were not happy, okay? They were coerced to do that. He was curious about that, and he was concerned about that. So he, put on his plain clothes, and they just, do a little, hiding of his face and so on, and then went to a theater. So that's a theater in Moscow, right? So at the end of the movie, that propaganda movie, all the audience stand up, standing ovation was just clapping, was very passionately. Wow, once he see that, see, I check it out myself. Okay, people love us. People love me. That's great. So he was sitting there and savoring his moment. And then the neighbor was just nudging his shoulder, and he whispered to his ear, "Are you crazy? You want to get arrested? You could lose your life. Stand up and clap." And now next one, I cannot help you give you a next one. Okay. This is a real story, okay? It is sad to be a real story. Back then in China, right, there's the political correctness in this country cannot be even remotely compared to the political correctness in China, okay?
Okay.
Let me tell you why that's the case. So back then, during the Cultural Revolution, right, the political correctness was just go to the extreme. And then people were just parading and just shout out slogan, "I will support Chairman Mao," and so on and so forth, right? So there's this little bridge. There's this secretary of the village, right? Mm-hmm. Secretary of the party of the village. He was holding a shigao. How to say shigao? It's some kind of the sculpture of the Mao, Chairman Mao. But can you check that? Just translation of shigao. Let me find out that. So he hold that thing and just leading on the parade, and then all the villagers was just following him. Right? It's just like a long life Cultural Revolution. Long life Chairman Mao, and so on and so forth. Plaster, yeah. There's plaster image of a Chairman Mao. Suddenly he stumbled. Bang.
Uh-oh.
He fell. It's a plaster, guys.
So it just broke.
It's broke into pieces. So at that moment, he was
devastated.
Yeah,
right?
he was going nuts. They could put him in labor camp. So then something came to him. He just kneeled down right away. Put-tum. He kneeled down and just kneel in front of the broken, the plaster image. Then his villagers, seeing that, "Oh, let's do the same thing." They just put them. They all just kneel
Everyone
down.
just kneeled down.
Yeah. Okay. They pay their utmost respect to their supreme leaders, right? They broke them. It's a crime. It's literally a crime. It's literally a crime. So secretary was just kneeling down there. Okay, it's easy to kneel down. Now the next question came: when and how to stand up?
Yeah. So what happened?
So after that, everybody's thinking about, we've been here for 3 minutes. What do we do? Should we stand up? Who dare to stand up? We're just paying our utmost, remorse to the supreme leader, right?
Right.
So the people thinking about, nobody moved. So they were there. They were kneeling down there for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Nobody dared to stand up, and then they were just calculating in their head how dangerous it is to stand up. Then they knew that for 30 minutes. Then they knew that by 15 minutes. Then they knew that down for nearly 2 hours.
2 hours.
Because the secretary was an old guy. Okay, he's very old. His legs almost is aching and he cannot hold anymore. There's 100 people just kneeling down there like fools. But it's very, very dangerous to stand up. You know how did it end?
Yeah, so how it ended?
At that time, there's this so-called class struggle, right? Class struggle. There's the enemy of our Bolshevik, class. So suddenly, because it's getting dark, right? He just pointing to the, the wheatland, 麦田, huh?
Oh,
the
field.
farmland, the field. He just suddenly shout out, there's 阶级敌人, there's class enemy who's hiding there. He stood up and then ran towards the wheatland. Everybody stood up and got rescued. They all ran after him. So
finally, he got the wisdom.
So yeah, finally everybody got to stand up and go home. But they were there for 2 hours. So think about the PC, right? PC in this country. Oh no, it's far from a classic communist nation. But let's never go there. How about that? Okay. I'm Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, how about until Monday?
Thank you for watching. I saw JF, he just said, I'm back. So I guess we have some new audience came back.
Yeah, thank you. And please press likes and press likes and unsubscribe and resubscribe so that you can get a notification. And just so you know that we're working on another platform, it's a live streaming platform, and we want to move over there. And if you can help us donate, give us some financial donation.
Oh, actually, in the last month we got quite some, right?
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate
Yeah, we
it.
got several $100s from you guys. Thank you so very much. And this is only the starting of the journey. Okay, the whole reason we tell those jokes, communist jokes, is so that nobody will tell that joke about America. Those only belong to Soviet Union and China. Okay.
And we hope, also in China we can get our people can get out of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can support us, can we just post the donor box link, and so that people got a chance. Okay, no matter or click likes and subscription. Thank you very much.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Great to
We'll
have you
see you
guys.
on Monday.
Yeah, see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.